I began my day this morning, early this morning, with a conference call with officials from soil and water districts around the state. I briefed them on the latest information on the emergency cost share program that I established just a few short weeks ago to help Missouri livestock producers and farmers who are being hit hard by the severe drought and heat that were gripping much of the Midwest. And I did that this morning with the great help of my Director of Agriculture, John Hagler. I appreciate John's work and constant vigilance in making sure Missouri agriculture continues to grow, feed, fuel, and clothe the world. John, your counsel, support, and aggressive work is making a real difference for our state. We're also glad to be with you all folks here at Southwest, as well as my good friend Barry Hart for his leadership statewide on issues involving power and response to emergencies. The reason that I got the folks on the call this morning was because the response to our program to help Missouri farm families with the cost of drilling and deepening wells and other projects has been tremendous. More than 11,000 applications were submitted in just 2 weeks, with more than 5,800 of those projects ultimately being approved. Those local soil and water districts that we talked with again this morning work closely with officials from the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Natural Resources to review those applications. Because the need for water was so immediate, they worked many long hours, including weekends, to complete those reviews so projects could get underway. I appreciate their efforts. I also appreciate them, everybody at the state government side, as well as at those local soil and water offices, working all those weekends. They understood that with the heat and the drought, we had to act and act quickly, and I appreciate them putting in their tireless efforts during the weekends and at nights to make sure that we, within 2 weeks, got those 11,000 applications, and in a very short time after that, got through that approval process. We've seen a great team effort in counties across the state to undertake and complete the water projects. Without well drilling crews being out there every day and without our rural electric co-ops stepping up to meet the demand of getting electricity to the new wells, these projects simply could not get done. But the RECs have always risen to the occasion when natural disasters have struck. In this situation, what we needed was teams that would go out there and help us hook up the electric for these wells as they were online so that we could literally save these livestock operations. And I want to tell you, the folks here at Southwest Electric, as usual, led our state and got their folks out in the field and continue to. Southwest has already completed their work on 50 drought relief wells, and they have dozens of other projects underway. And I thank these workers here who have worked tirelessly to make sure that power gets to those that were needed it. That is right in line with what they have done after natural disasters in the past, including the crippling ice storms that have hit this area. So, as of today, more than 4,400 emergency water projects across Missouri are completed, are under construction, or have been scheduled for construction. 4,400 either done, being constructed right now, are directly in line to get done very quickly. That is outstanding progress. Now, the rain we got over Labor Day weekend and since has helped somewhat, and it has helped reduce the imminent fire danger. But we are a long way from this drought being over, and I know the agriculture community still has a pressing need for water, especially for livestock. I want to ensure that we are able to help Missouri agriculture continue to meet any immediate need for water. That is why earlier today I signed an executive order that took 2 critical actions. First, I extended for 45 days through November 15th the state of emergency for Missouri that I declared in late July because of the heat, fire risk, and drought. Under this order, our state emergency management team will continue to work closely with local emergency officials to ensure that communities have resources and support they need to endure this drought. My order also extends the deadline for completing the approved cost-share water projects. As many of you know, we've watched this pretty carefully. You have 368 licensed well drillers in Missouri. Of those, there's about 176 rigs that are currently operational. You divide that by the number of projects, and you can see that working as hard as they can, even working on the weekends, that is extremely challenging to get them done on time, and hence we wanted to make sure that under the same criteria, we extended that time frame so that folks that got approved will be guaranteed that they can get what they need. The deadline in my executive order setting up the emergency drought relief program was September 23rd, but because of this tremendous response, this new order extends that deadline so the projects that meet that criteria bringing immediate relief for the current water shortage can be completed. So, to be eligible for that extension, livestock producers and farmers must continue to make diligent efforts to move forward to complete their projects by the earliest possible date, and we're going to use the same strict criteria to determine eligibility for the extension that we did in looking at eligibility and approving the projects in the first place. So we look forward to working with folks. Now, and because of the limited 45-day extension of the state of emergency, we're going to keep everyone working quickly and efficiently as possible to complete these emergency projects. Now, we're also going to continue to ensure accountability to taxpayers. To help in that effort, I've created a program audit and compliance team. This team will work under the direction of the state budget director. They have already been traveling around the state, making sure that projects are on time, maintaining on budget, and getting completed in a timely fashion. All around the state, we've seen how these emergency projects are making a real difference for Missouri agriculture. Obviously, we need more rain this fall, pretty much across the entire state. But in the meantime, this team effort will continue to do all we can to help our farm families get water. Once again, before I take questions, I want to thank specifically the folks here at Southwest. They have taken resources. When we called and said this demand was going to come up, they've taken resources that otherwise would be spent other places. They've taken their teams and put them in place to assist folks in this region, literally hooking up farmers and saving farms across southwest Missouri. And I could not thank these workers that are behind me and their leaders represented around us today anymore. It is an unbelievable pleasure as governor to be able to call on the RECs and specifically Southwest to help and get the professional, strong effort that they did.